You know what's strange? The things that make you feel weird. The things you've tried to hide. The things people have called odd about you your whole life. Those might be the exact signs that your brain is operating at a level most people never reach. And I don't know who needs to hear this right now, but if you've ever felt like you just don't quite fit, like you see things others miss, like conversations feel shallow and most people exhaust you, this video is going to feel like someone finally read your file. Stay with me for the next 7 minutes, because I'm going to walk you through 7 scientifically backed signs of genuine high intelligence. Sign number 1. You have a sharp, almost surgical sense of humor. Not everyone laughs at the same things. You know this. You've sat in rooms where everyone's laughing at something and you're just sitting there thinking, that's not even clever. It's just loud. Here's what's actually happening. Real humor requires your brain to hold 2 completely different frameworks at the same time. Catch the exact moment they collide and process that absurdity faster than the person next to you. That's not a social skill. That's a cognitive operation. A study published in the journal Cognitive Processing found that people who score higher on verbal and abstract reasoning tests consistently produce and appreciate more complex humor. The researchers didn't just find a correlation, they found that humor literally uses the same neural pathways as problem solving. Your sense of humor isn't just personality, it's your intelligence. Finding the fastest route to the truth. If you've ever been in a relationship, romantic friendship, or professional where someone didn't get your jokes, where your comment dissolved into silence, where you started holding yourself back because explaining why something was funny was easier than watching it land wrong, you weren't the odd one out. That was an intelligence gap you were kind enough not to make obvious. Sign number 2, your eyes give you away. Literally, this one is going to sound like something out of a spy movie, but it's real. Studies have found that people with higher intelligence tend to have larger baseline pupil size, even in neutral lighting, when there's no emotional trigger, no bright flash, nothing. Researchers at the Georgia Institute of Technology measured pupil dilation across hundreds of participants and found that larger resting pupil size was significantly correlated with higher fluid intelligence, the ability to solve new problems, detect patterns, and think on your feet. Why? Because pupil size is controlled by the locus coeruleus, a region deep in the brain responsible for regulating attention, mental effort, and cognitive processing. Larger pupils, in this context, suggest a brain that is constantly maintaining a higher baseline level of cognitive readiness. Your brain doesn't clock out. It stays online, alert, ready. Even when you're just sitting there looking like you're doing nothing, your brain is running background processes that most people's minds don't even have installed. Sign number 3. You stay up late, and your best thinking happens at night. Be honest. Right now, what time is it where you are? If you're watching this after 11 p.m., you're not surprised that this made the list. There's a term for this, chronotype, and research from the London School of Economics found that individuals with higher IQs consistently prefer later sleep, and wake times what scientists call an evening chronotype. The theory is this. Going to bed late is an evolutionarily novel behavior. Our ancestors didn't have artificial light, late-night environments, or the option to stay up. Choosing to do so anyway requires your brain to override deeply wired biological defaults, and the willingness and ability to do that correlates with higher general intelligence. But here's what nobody says out loud. Society is built for morning people. School starts at 8 a.m. Offices open at 9, and if your brain naturally fires up at midnight, you've spent your entire life being told you're lazy, undisciplined, or disorganized. You're not. You're running on a schedule. Your brain chose because it knows when it works best. The problem isn't your clock. The problem is the world built its schedule without you in mind. Sign number 4. Your body and your mind are more connected than you realize. This one hits different because it's not just about intelligence. It's about how your body physically reflects what's happening in your brain. Research has found a surprising link between lower visceral belly fat and higher cognitive function. This isn't about appearance. This is about inflammation. Excess belly fat produces inflammatory markers that cross the blood-brain barrier and directly impair memory processing speed and executive function. People with sharper minds, people who move, eat with some intention, keep their bodies reasonably functional, consistently outperform on cognitive measures. Here's the part that matters for you specifically. If you've always had a sense that how you feel physically affects how sharply you think, if you've noticed that when you're sluggish, your mind feels foggy, And when you feel good in your body, you think faster and clearer. That's not in your head. That's your brain telling you the truth about itself. The mind and the body are not separate systems, and high intelligence, at its best, lives in both. Sign number 5. You can smell a fake person from across the room. I don't mean literally, but kind of literally. You walk into a situation, a new job, a party, a first date, and within minutes, you already know. That person is performing. That smile doesn't reach their eyes. The way they talked about their friend just now had something underneath it. Something sharp. Most people around you think you're paranoid, judgmental, too quick to decide. And then 6 months later, everything you sensed on day 1 turns out to be true. This is not luck. This is not paranoia. This is your brain processing thousands of microsignals simultaneously: tone of voice, word choice, body language, eye contact, timing. The gap between what someone says and how they say it, and synthesizing it all into what you experience as a feeling, psychologists call this thin slicing. The ability to make accurate assessments from minimal information. And research consistently shows it's strongly correlated with higher cognitive processing speed. You are not reading minds. You are reading data, faster than most people can even perceive that data exists. Trust what you smell. Sign number 6. You don't ask questions to fill silence. You ask them to actually understand. Think about the last conversation, where someone explained something to them, and everyone nodded along, and you were the one who raised your hand and said, "But wait, that doesn't make sense. If that's true, then what about this?" And the room got a little uncomfortable. Not because you were wrong, because you went somewhere nobody else went. The willingness to ask deep questions, to push past the surface answer, to be unsatisfied with "that's just how it is" one of the clearest behavioral markers of high intelligence. Research on intellectual curiosity shows that people who habitually ask deeper, second-order questions, not just what, but why, and what does that mean for everything else, demonstrate significantly higher reasoning ability and knowledge acquisition over time. Average thinkers ask questions. To confirm what they already believe, you ask questions because you genuinely want to know, and you're not satisfied until the answer actually holds up. Discomfort you create in rooms when you ask too much. That's not a social flaw. That's your intelligence refusing to be lied to. Sign number 7. You have very few real friends, and you prefer it that way. It's not that you're antisocial. It's not that you're broken or difficult or too much. It's that you have an extremely low tolerance. For conversations that don't go anywhere, small talk feels like slow suffocation. You can do it. You've gotten good at performing it, but it costs you something every single time. And genuine connection, the kind where someone actually understands how you think, where you don't have to translate yourself, where you can say the real thing without a disclaimer. And you know it. Research from the British Journal of Psychology found that highly intelligent individuals actually report lower life satisfaction when they spend more time socializing, the opposite of what's true for most people. The researchers suggested that intelligent people are more focused on long-term goals and deep thinking, and frequent shallow social interaction pulls them away from both. You're not lonely because nobody wants you, selective because your brain knows the difference between presence and actual connection, and it refuses to settle if at least 4 of these are true for you, and I think they are. Or you wouldn't still be here then. Stop explaining yourself to people who are not equipped to understand you. Stop shrinking your questions. Stop apologizing for your sleep schedule. Stop performing smallness in rooms that were never built for your actual size. One last thing, drop a comment right now. Tell me, which sign made you pause? Which one felt like someone had been watching your life? Just the number 1 through 7. I read every single one, and I'll see you in the next video.